Hi, friends. I am Pastor Annike, and this is my midweek reflection. I know that today is Thursday. This week is one of those weeks. There was so much going on. We are in the middle of preparations for worship services during this season, for congregational care activities, to reach out to all of you and show that we miss you during this season. And yesterday, worship committee team was thinking about Christmas Eve and how we can make our Christmas celebration this year special, even though we cannot gather in person. So be on the lookout. I will give you more information as our planning progresses. But it should be an exciting and interactive service for Christmas Eve. But as I'm thinking about the season of Advent, this very unusual season of Advent this year, during this first week, which is the week of hope, when we look for the hope of God's coming into our midst, as we await eagerly for God's coming, I remembered a piece that Anne Lamott wrote in her book, Stitches, a handbook on meaning, hope, and repair. She writes this about hope. As you may know, she wrote this book right after the shooting at the Sandy Hook Elementary School. And so her words about what hope may look like come in the aftermath of such a deep tragedy. So I felt it can speak to us as we are dealing with the challenges of the pandemic and we hear more and more people getting infected and so many lives lost. And as we carry those heavy burdens and that heavy grief in our hearts, may we hear these words and find hope and how we can be part of sharing hope. Let us listen to what she says. Every time we choose the good action or response, the decent, the valuable, it builds incrementally to renewal, resurrection, the place of newness, freedom, justice. The equation is life, death, resurrection, and hope. The horror is real. And so you make casseroles for your neighbor, organize an overseas clothing drive, and do your laundry. You can also offer to do other people's laundry if they have recently had any random babies or surgeries. We live stitch by stitch when we're lucky. If you fixate on the big picture, the whole shebang, the overview, you miss the stitching. And maybe the stitching is crude or is unraveling. But if it was precise, we'd pretend that life is just fine and running like a Swiss watch. And this is not helpful if on the inside our understanding is that life is more often the cuckoo clock with rusty gears. My pastor, Veronica, on Sunday told the story of a sparrow lying in the street with its legs straight up in the air, sweating a little under its feathery arms. A horse walks up to the bird and asks, "What on earth are you doing?" The sparrow replies, "I heard the sky was falling, and I wanted to help." The horse laughs a big, loud, sneering horse laugh and says, "Do you really think you are going to hold back the sky with those scrawny little legs?" And the sparrow says, "One does what one can." Friends, some days feel like that for us too. We are trying to hold back the sky from falling with our scrawny little legs. But during the season of Advent, may we do what we can. We receive strength, as 1 Corinthians 1:7 reminds us, that we will not lack any spiritual gifts to open our eyes to God being revealed already now in our midst. So by sharing those experiences, those observations of how God is present, how His goodness sown during these days, can help us hold the sky up. So I invite you this Advent season to take a journal and write down those experiences, what you notice. Where do you see God these days revealed? And share it with me, and let's share it with one another so that together we can all take our part in holding the sky up. In the coming days, stay safe and know that I miss you and I love you. I will see you on Sunday to light our second Advent candle of peace. Take care.